Welcome to another episode of Filmmaker Reacts. We're about to check out a very exciting trailer. Today is a trailer that Bungie just dropped for their newest game called Marathon. This trailer is an 8-minute long trailer directed by Alberto Mielgo. He has done Love, Death, Robots, Spider-Verse. The guy has a very distinctive art style. So I'm really excited to see how that translates for a video game trailer. Obviously, Bungie has been developing this world for years. Kind of in secret. They really haven't shared a ton about it, and they just dropped a bunch all at once. Gameplay trailers, this teaser trailer, or promotional trailer. I'm excited to check this out. Haven't seen it yet. I've been seeing a lot of filmmaker friends raving about it, so I'm very excited to dive in. And once again, kind of see how this filmmaker, his distinctive style translates to this 8-minute video. I'm assuming it's going to be rad. So without any further ado, let's dive in. Sick. These big wide space shots always do it for me. The audio is very cool. Man, really getting hit with some really vibrant colors right out of the gate. Oh. Oh my gosh. These wide angle shots are crazy. It's like 14mm wide angle shots. We're like, what, 30 seconds into this thing and we're already seeing so much world building. What the heck? Dude, you don't even want to blink or look away. There's so much going on here. Oh, this is, oh my. Okay. All right. Listen, I am hooked. This is so sick. All these macro shots, the threads coming together. Rebuilding a body. Yeah, I love this. So are these like cyborgs or like AI situation? I don't really know. I don't know what the lore is for this.
I met a traveler from an antique land who said, "Too vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert."
Look at this art style. This is gorgeous.
Half sunk, a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that it sought to well those passions red which yet survive.
Is that a pill? What do we have here?
Stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them, lifeless.
Oh.
And the heart that fed.
I love their suits. Like it almost looks like he has like a motion tracking data, like those little plus marks.
Welcome once again.
Yeah. This has such a hype style.
I mean, it feels just like what it is, right? Like $1 trillion. Like $1 trillion.
Like, this is not a generic trailer. Like, you can feel the filmmaker in this. Such a distinctive style.
Got a big contract waiting down there, so.
Understood. Let's proceed with your grounding exercise. Are you familiar with this item?
These colors are so vibrant. I love this.
Yeah, it's supposed to be my lucky charm.
Man, this like handheld feel, I don't think there's been a single shot that has been like on a dolly or anything. It's all handheld. It's gorgeous. So many particles. This is crazy. Okay. Man, you are just feeling the impact of this. Wow.
Can you identify her?
Yeah,
That was like a 10-second shot, but you felt like you were in the middle of a shootout.
Consider this. Do you
Pure
recognize this
crazy.
child?
Who are I don't know.
It's you.
What? Really?
I like how we're kind of following two separate stories, two separate characters. I'm guessing they're going to interconnect. This is so cool. What are these floating rocks? This is so pretty. Also this like painterly style over everything.
Hey, what's that you're always tuned into? Worth anything?
That helmet is amazing. Like face mask that opens up.
Let me listen.
Yeah, go ahead.
You ever wonder what happened to these people?
It's not my business.
And this music is. You'll have a tough time finding a buyer.
Good. It's not for sale. Give it to me.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, there's so much to talk about. I feel like we could talk about this for hours. I'll try not to talk about it for hours, but this is insane. Oh my gosh. The cloaking device? Look at that reassembly. Oh, it's so sick. This is interesting. There is a little bit of 180 rule breaking. I'll talk about that after this, but it's interesting. Oh, the lighting. Okay. This is like lighting like a light mounted on top of a camera. They're not shying away from the fact that there's a camera filming this. I love this. So frenetic. This music is a sick choice. Oh. I love how handheld all this camera work is. Oh my gosh. Okay. Escape will make me God. That's such a cool subtext. Now I got the music back. All right.
And on the pedestal, these words appear. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings.
These shots are beautiful.
Mighty and despair. Nothing beside remain. Nothing beside remain.
Oh my gosh. All right.
Colossal wreck. Round the decay of the
Will he get to respawn too? I bet he will.
alone and level sands stretch far away.
I love these environment shots. Oh my gosh. This looks photoreal. Wild. Oh yeah. Stop.
Do you recognize this child?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that me?
Oh. All right. All right. I see you. I see you, Bungie. I see you. Wow. Okay. A lot to talk about here. I'll try not to take too much time. I have a lot of crazy thoughts on this. I would say, first off, this visual style is so exciting to me. It's so exciting. I feel like usually video game trailers have a certain look to them, the certain like glossiness shot in Unreal Engine, right? Like there's a certain polished nature to it. Look at this. Look at this. Like literally even this wide shot, these mountains in the background are painted. Like this is not a 3D model as best as I can tell. I think this is literally just a 2D painted like matte painter concept artist. But like in the foreground, these waves are like photorealistic. So it's a great mix of medium. Like throughout this whole thing, there's all sorts of like hand-drawn, hand-painted elements. And I don't know how much of that is going to be in the final game per se, but at least from showcasing the aesthetic of this world, it's so beautiful. Some really cool choices. Also, I'm thoroughly obsessed with all the wide angles. Like, this is an absurd wide angle. This is like what you would shoot a skateboarding video on, just straight up fisheye. This is really cool. Once again, not used in cinematics like this very often. Usually everybody's relying on like a 50 millimeter or something that feels more cinematic and has like anamorphic flares and everything. This is just mayhem. This reminds me a lot of Neil Blomkamp's earlier work when he just had that really spazzy coverage style, like his original like Halo Landfall, I think was what it was called, was his Halo trailer. So sick. Oh, like this. What in the world? I like this intro. It's just showcasing a lot of wild things to really hook you, get you interested right out of the gate. The colors are so vibrant. I love this. Yeah, look at that. It's so crazy. And then rebuilding with these caterpillars. This is so cool. That's a really creative idea. It's like rebuilding like the framework of a person using these small caterpillars. I don't know. Maybe that's not what they are, but this is so cool. Everything's so centered. I love this.
I'm a traveler.
Yeah, look at, oh man, I got to talk about this again real quick. I love big wide shots, but once again, look at, there's hardly any detail in these mountains in the back. That's so pretty. They're centered right here, and then there's like a montage here, right? Yeah, but everything stays centered. So as things are flashing around and you're jumping from scene to scene, your eye can keep tracking with the action because it's right here in the center. Look at all these scenes they're showing. It's really clever. Those same shot approaches are used in like Mad Max Fury Road, especially towards like the intro of that. In a lot of the bigger action scenes, there's a lot of action happening, and they cut cameras so fast, but it's all happening on like the center line. So you can see like this whole montage just has a lot of really cool things they're showing, but everything's happening in the center, so your eye can still track with what's happening, which is very smart. I love that the director, like this is a directed piece. Like you can feel that this is made with like a singular vision, and I love when pieces like that happen where this is a very distinctive artist style that it feels like they just let him play like in their world. They're kind of like, here's some assets, here's the world, here's a few characters, what do you got for us? And it feels like that approach. This handheld capturing is really cool too. I am curious, I don't know the answer to this, but I'm curious if one, there was mocap involved, but two, I'm curious if they actually used real cameras to film this. And it could be something as simple as like in Unreal Engine, you can use your iPhone after you set up your scene. You can just like film the scene and look every which way you want. And I'm curious if that's a similar approach here, because there's a certain amount of like micro jitter that really only happens naturally if you're holding a camera. It's difficult to emulate. I'm not saying it's not emulated, but it feels a lot more handheld, and I'm curious if that was their approach to this, is like build up the scene and then a cinematographer could go in and virtually capture the footage the way they wanted to.
Yeah, I know. Do you mind if we skip?
I like all this too because you're not really blowing out the background into bokeh. My approach, and I feel like a lot of other filmmakers' approaches, is like you set up like kind of a cool world, but then you just really hone in on the focus, shoot it like a really shallow depth of field, and you're getting like your main character in focus, and everything else kind of gets blown out of focus because that's a way to like draw your attention to the center. I love this director's approach to this short because he is, for the most part, keeping everything very crisp, very in focus. It seems only every once in a while over this 8 minutes, there's only a few times that you're getting like a true bokeh, like shallow depth of field. Like all of this stuff, you're seeing everything. It's so cool. Yeah, so here, when she's leaning really far in, yes, of course, we're blowing out the background. But I would say this would kind of be my default. Like if I was building the scene, the default would be like I would have everything be slightly out of focus, even for the wide shot. But I love this. I love this approach. What are under these tarps? This is so cool. Obsessed with that helmet. Okay, so this firefight is absurd. So much is happening so quickly. You feel the energy. You feel the energy happen really fast. and they're just off to the races. This is just a really fast fight. It doesn't last very long, but it's beautiful and kinetic. I find this really interesting. I feel like they break the 180 rule a bit in this short, where you have your main characters on the right-hand side, and you have these soldiers, police coming in from kind of the left. That seems to be like the right and left. You can see our main characters are on the right-hand side of the screen shooting, blocking, and then at some point they switch. And now we have the soldiers on the right-hand side, which I think is interesting. It's not how I would do it. I typically try to adhere, when I can, mostly to a left and a right. Once you kind of establish one character on one side, then you stick with that. I'm interested why they switched it. Unless it's just trying to convey the chaos of the fight, then you're just sort of like, you don't know where people are. It's kind of going back and forth. I'm not even saying that this is a wrong approach. It's just different than what I would have done, and it stood out to me. I found it interesting. Yeah, this is so cool. The energy is so high on this. And that whole fight doesn't last very long. I think for me, a lot of times I want to like hang on the action a little bit longer, and I think this showcases like a really talented director, because he just shows something really fast and you just zoom through it and you're left with like a feeling of it without it being gratuitous or too long. You're not getting bored of the action, which I think is amazing. Where's this next shot? Okay, yeah. There's a shot coming up here that I wanted to talk about. These are so pretty. All these different worlds. Yeah, when they come up on this hill right here, look at this. These mountains, once again, I don't know if this is how the final game is going to look, but this director loves to like mix 2D and 3D. The ground they're standing on, you can see the paint swatches, and the same thing with this rock in the background. I mean, there are just rudimentary shadows and highlights placed down. It's such a beautiful look. I doubt the game will look like that. I bet you the game will have a more traditional 3D style, even if it is more cell shaded and more interesting with like their color approaches and high contrast. But this is such a beautiful look for a short, because I think he struck a balance here with maintaining like his own distinctive style, but also leaning in heavily into the art direction of the assets and the world that are being provided to him. It's like a tricky balance. You don't want to get too far into your own style. I love this. They're not afraid of high contrast. There is just sun crushing down. You can see the highlights on the plants in the background. There's the shot when she gets hit here that I think is so insane. All these wide angles. Look at this. This is crazy. This is like, I don't know, 14 millimeter, maybe even wider. And this is another example of like a rare situation where the background is actually out of focus. For the most part, this is not happening through this whole short.
It's not my business.
This helmet like opens up. I think I talked about it already, but I think it's so cool. Okay, this shot I think might be one of the better shots in this entire short film. The reason being, you need to see her get shot in the head. But the whole scene is framed up to do that. So you are surprised when it happens, but you actually still see it happen, which I think is amazing filmmaking. Everything in this scene is built to line up your eyes with her head. And as the scene progresses, you'll see everything in the scene lines up to her right before, boom, she gets hit. Okay, so check this out. The gun right here aims straight up at her head. His arm direction right up at her head. All of the buildings behind her, everything is angled towards her. She's center frame. So your eye is naturally gravitating right towards her head. And in fact, if you watch his hand, he's gesturing up just to talk to her, but his hand raises up right to show her get hit. Just watch the hand. He basically points right to it, like, look right there, boom. And it's subtle, but your brain registers it and you see it happen. So it's still a surprise, because they didn't like slowly push in on her head with some music ramp. It happens when you kind of least expect it, but still they are setting you up for success as a viewer, that you're not surprised at what happens. You're actually seeing it happen. This is great. That is like masterclass in shot composition, because once again, they did not even blow out the background out of focus. Everything's in focus. Everything has color. Everything is vibrant, and you see it coming, or you see it happen even though you don't see it coming. This is cool, going frame by frame. You can see they light up the entire scene with red when this one laser comes. Often when I do like a laser hit or like a gunshot hit, I will just kind of do like a global glow, like right around the laser. But I love that they added red to the entire scene. You see it hit him. You see it hit these barrels on the right and the left. This is like a full scene red, but the main glow is coming from the laser, the bullet hit here. And then it just fades off. I mean, it's all these little details that just sell this. Such a heavy hit. This is so, so cool. I love this shot. That's a blink and you'll miss it shot. I mean, YouTube is barely holding up to the bit rate of this, but the fact that he's doing this flip, he's going invisible, and then you have the focus on these like water droplets as they're coming right up to the camera is very cool. Once again, they're not rendering very clear. It would be awesome to get a full like 4K of this, but this is really cool. And I love when the cloaking is coming off here. I feel like we have all seen cloaking and decloaking in movies and in shows and in games for years. I've never seen something quite this dynamic before. Usually it's just like invisible and it slowly fades back in, becomes more opaque. This has like layers on layers where you're seeing some of the webbing and you're seeing multicolors, bright, vibrant colors, almost like heat sink colors, like a heat detection camera colors. I think that's really cool. It's very clever, very creative. This was interesting. Okay, so we have him. He's on the right-hand side. We have the gun on the right-hand side, barrel going to the left. But then when it comes to the trigger, now all of a sudden the barrel is aimed towards the right. So the camera's completely changed sides. Once again, this is just interesting to me that they would change the angle of the 180 for me, kind of for no reason. I don't understand why they would do that. Because here, once again, he's on the right, gun is handed to the left. And then as soon as they go to the close-up of the trigger, they switch cameras to the other side. Yeah. I don't know. Once again, I'm not even saying this is bad or wrong. I'm just saying it's interesting and not usually what I would do. Everything stays so centered in these high action moments, which is really smart. You're never confused about what's happening, who you're following. Okay, I love these scenes right here. Everything is being lit by a light on the camera. These are not lights happening in the scene. This bright white light is though the camera the operator is holding has a little light on top of it illuminating the scene. It's almost like they're not shying away from the fact that this is filmed right now. You see this harsh shadow from behind her. This is literally a DSLR with a light on top of it, aimed straight at them. This is like flashlight lighting. Once again, not coming from like a flashlight on their gun or anything. It's just purely from the camera. And I think that is very cool. I think that when you're filmmaking, figuring out shots, all this stuff, I think your priority is, does the shot look cool? And then second, is it realistic? And I think with something like this, it's so stylized from the entire, for the entire approach, from an art direction, from a world building standpoint, that their top priority is just cool factor. Like, does this look pretty? Does this look cool? And they're not caring about the realism of it. Which I think is the right choice. I think this is so cool. And then, yeah, you're left with this little chase scene here with the two of them. Really high shutter. Everything's very crisp and sharp. The focus is hunting a lot, which is really cool in this. Like, obviously, if you're doing something digitally, you can tell the digital camera to just lock to an object and never lose focus, ever. So they could physically, like, parent their focus tracking to one of these characters. But they're choosing not to. They're choosing to make it feel a little bit more like a handheld, and the focus is having trouble keeping up with the action, which just makes it feel more grounded. These designs on these soldiers, police, whatever they are, amazing. Where are they? Show them again. Yeah. Here we go. These are like xenomorphs from Alien if they were robotic, right? These long, elongated heads. I love the rectangular guns. The art direction, the art style is so strong, and the silhouettes are so strong. You can see the silhouetted, and you would know it's from this game. Like, it has such a cool look to it. Super wide angle shot. I mean, all this is so pretty. Yeah, and then the final shot here, I really like this. You basically, everything is servicing having your eye fixed nicely in the center with this, I don't know, satellite that's breaking apart in the sky, with his face, with these buildings kind of aimed towards you. Looks so pretty. And then I love all of these shots here at the end. Look almost photoreal. A lot of them do anyways. They still have a really strong art style, which is beautiful. There's this one shot, I love this. I love like a futuristic greenhouse.
Stretch far away.
Your eye is being drawn right to the center. They have this one shot that just feels photoreal. This one almost does. So pretty. This one right here. This looks like it would be from Blade Runner or something. It looks photoreal. I love this. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I have no notes. I mean, I would say the only thing that I found interesting from a sound choice was the 180 breaking that happened a few times, but it's not even, I'm sure there are reasons behind it. And, probably a lot of it was just to try to look more chaotic and really like rope you into this, just the franticness of what was happening in the scene. I love the choice of, keeping everything really deep with the focus. So like everything was very in focus all the time, handheld, really wide angle. Once again, like I suspect that this was filmed with like a real camera operator. I suspect that they virtually did it later, and I could be wrong, but it feels different. I've done a lot with setting cameras on tracks and even adding some like post noise to make them move and shake a little bit like a natural camera shake. But man, these have like very micro jitters like you get from a handheld lens and a handheld camera. So kudos to them for that. I think the art direction is a 10 out of 10. I think the story 10 out of 10. Like this really is an incredible trailer that just sucks you in, ropes you in, makes you want to know more about this world. Also, the filmmaking is done in a very high class. Like this is a master class in filmmaking. If this doesn't inspire you, I don't know what will. Like my thoughts are not even about like the game. Like this is really just about like this as independent media. This could sit in a Love, Death, and Robots rotation and you would be like, yo, that was so sick. Like it just feels like a standalone world and a standalone world that you, there's a short film that you want to see more of. So love all of this. Sound design was amazing. I love how they would cut to piano and classical music, not just your typical dun dun dun, big action set piece music. So I love this. Marathon was amazing. Let me know in the comments what you think about it. Did you also like the things I liked about it, or is this too abrasive and crazy and chaotic for your taste? Which I also would understand if that was the case. But for me, this speaks to me. It feels like a big long music video of chaos. I'm into it. Yeah, let me know in the comments what you think, and I will see you guys around for the next one. See ya.